Guys, I have no idea.
Okay.
Welcome back to the Zeitcast
Podcast, episode 3.
I'm your host, Eric Henderson.
No, you're not the host. I am.
That's your new intro. You record this as your new
We're playing some Monopoly.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, boys.
Celebrity guest Isaac.
Schneider.
Greatest guy you'll ever meet.
Welcome to
Isaac Schneider.
The
Benjamin
Earring Podcast.
Schneider.
We
Eric
all
Baum.
gotta turn our
Adam Baum.
Okay.
Owen Dye. Ryan Emmy.
Alright. We all gotta harmonize.
We're all gonna harmonize.
Stop going up.
Alright, that's enough of the introduction.
Alright.
Are you done, Ryan? Okay, now
Yeah,
you don't. You don't have to pay.
with
I'm in
CW.
But
You don't have to pay on the
X, the letter X is actually used.
So now it's
Because-
Ryan's turn.
You could end a word with KS, but you wouldn't know if it's plural or not.
You know what, Carrie?
Like sauce.
I'm just like Q. I'm useless without you.
Like,
Alright, so you could use X to end a word with
Now-
that sound, but then it not be plural.
Hey, why do
but
they-
if it's plural, then you'd use KS.
why do they
Well,
call
not
shorts
necessarily,
and pants a pair of
if you
pants and a
spelled
pair of
box,
shorts? When there's
there's
a
no
U.
KS.
Yeah, there's 2 legs.
So,
And then you made
But that could be
Boxes.
plural. That could be
Pants.
plural though. That
Then
could be
if
if
box.
I could rearrange the alphabet, I would put you.
If there
and
was
I
something called a box, and it's box.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So if it's
And now it's character.
but then if it's non-plural, it'd just
And
be an
if
X,
I could
and then
rearrange
it's
this
the
more,
word
I'd put N
box.
and O together.
Right?
Yeah, that's
N
fair.
and O.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
No.
Oh.
Eric, it is your turn.
All right.
Someone said that on one of my yellows one time.
Bill Gates has so much money that he probably, Bill Gates probably has so much money that he pays people to eat for him.
What the freak?
honestly though, Bill Gates is awesome.
Elon Musk.
Like, why even waste your time eating? You just pay someone else to do it for you.
Now,
Use the restroom.
in my opinion, I feel like
Ben, it's your turn. He probably pays someone to wipe his
Probably pay someone to sleep for him too.
No,
Dude,
he's
that's
got
what
the
Blue
days
Days are
of
for.
no
Eric,
problem.
I feel like he could probably just eat pizza rolls and
That's
no
what Blue Days
care.
are for.
He probably has a
Oh, really?
nutritionist that makes
Is that
a
a real
really
thing?
good diet for him.
There's
So he's probably
there's a
gonna
water
live
thing.
really
Actually, I don't know because he eats it a
It's
very
very
water.
and clean your.
No one has.
But normally he probably eats like a
Isaac,
strict diet.
Yeah, he does.
Buy
I'm pretty sure he
60.
does.
Baltic Avenue.
He drank really dirty water.
How much
Actually,
is it?
Included.
The statistics on the
Yeah,
the
Bill
most
Gates.
You know, Bill
landed on
Gates.
territories
Bill
were
Gates got
orange and red.
overtaken by Elon Musk.
Are
who's
the
second
what are?
richest
Orange and red.
person.
Actually, the most landed on
man.
is jail.
Yeah,
You
Elon
get to
Musk
jail
is
in,
number
like,
2 now.
3 different
Oh.
ways.
Really? Yeah.
By getting a chance to
sucks,
go to
120
VHS,
bill.
to go to
Honestly,
jail.
I
didn't know we
like
had
Bill
that
Gates a
much.
little more than
Yeah.
Elon Musk.
His net worth went up a lot this year because of Tesla. Tesla stuff.
Yeah, they're both the same way. But
They joined the S&P 500.
In my opinion, I feel like diesel is the future of vehicles.
No,
Biodiesel.
electric is.
Dude,
Oh,
honestly,
wrong.
diesel
I
is
know
pretty close to
Right
going extinct.
10 from there is
No,
Biodiesel.
it's really not.
Biodiesel.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, you'd be
It's-
like-
Well, yeah,
it's really
because
not.
diesel is like an off thing.
Electric's
you
gonna
find
be
oil.
electric
You
is
pay
the
to
future.
play your
Electric's
And
Yeah,
that's
because
great.
I
don't know about that.
Hey,
I'd say
Eric
when
owes
you-
us $50.
They're so powerful though. They're
guys-
it's
I'd
true.
say when you
You get
refine
really powerful.
oil, you get
Have you guys
diesel,
heard how
'cause
Dyson
oil-
is trying to
diesel's
engineer
a
a
byproduct
car?
of oil.
Yeah.
They're gonna use like
But biodiesel
I think it's
is
brushless razors or whatever
Electric
they
is going to happen at some point, obviously.
Honestly,
But I don't think it's going to happen nearly as quick as
I only
people
put
say
two.
it will.
I'd say you
I
could
don't know.
refine vegetable oil and you could put it in your diesel vehicle and drive it.
well,
okay, they
you see, the
proved.
thing about
what
this,
else was
this electrical thing is that
It's taking a lot more,
There
like
was-
putting a lot more emissions on the
Until
air to
you
make the things
clean-
to get that.
No, but once we get
lithium
solid
mines-
state batteries, we're gonna have batteries that'll last a million miles.
I forgot who did this, but someone
And-
actually put
and so you're not gonna be switching
alcohol
them out.
into a
our
vehicle
battery
and ran it
technology
for.
sucks.
Yeah, he put
No,
Crown
but
Royal
and
into
also
a vehicle and
until
he
you
was able to
clean,
run.
Yeah, they
until
ran
you
it for a
clean
while.
up the lithium mines, it's gonna be just more waste.
You won't have to have lithium
Yeah.
though in the
Well,
new
dude,
solid
I mean,
state battery.
think about
so
how
make a-
quickly electric cars shot into the industry.
Is it my turn?
And, like,
Okay,
Yeah, I
it
got
is
it.
So
a-
awesome.
It is a very small
Owen, it is your
percent
turn.
of. It is a very small
That's
share
true.
of the number of cars
It's
on the road.
Right.
It's 3%, right?
Which one?
Yeah, it's like.
But it's
nothing.
expected to go up to 10% in the next 5 years.
Hey, does anybody own
Like,
Ventura
for
Avenue?
Yep.
And that's an insane increase in
22
5 years.
dollars.
Okay,
Here's the thing, though. So
I'm looking
like
at it-
solar and wind energy. They said that, like 20 years ago, they were saying that that by now that would be the majority of the.
It is
Yeah.
in like
Power.
states like California though.
Yeah, but
But
it's
California's
nothing compared-
energy is extremely expensive.
It is.
It's
yeah.
not a viable thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I think with Joe Biden in office now, since I'm coming close to 18,
Well,
when I turn 18,
well, he
I
isn't
can buy
necessarily
stocks
going
and
to be in
stuff.
office.
Socks.
I think he will be.
Trump can still contest it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
he,
but-
but he could always 2024.
He said he's
could
gonna
always
run in
for a second
2024.
go.
Yeah, I don't
The other
think
fact
he can
is-
win this year.
I don't think he could win in 2024.
Yeah, dude,
No.
I honestly
Uh,
believe that Donald Trump will have been the very last Republican president ever.
Ted Cruz might have a
I-
shot.
Yeah.
I don't
I don't know.
disagree with you.
The
but yeah,
demographics
Ted-
though, with how they're changing. Plus, if they
Ted
get the
Cruz is too far.
if
right.
the Senate goes blue, they're gonna add in Puerto Rico and DC as states,
Really?
and then there will never be. A
Okay,
Republican.
my
Yeah.
my
Yeah,
point
they're
being with
liberal.
with Joe
They're
Biden in
pretty
office,
far
I feel
left,
like our the electricity companies, the electric cars, the renewable energy will the stocks will, or like the companies behind those will actually go up in value because it's going to be more forced upon by
Well,
the Joe Biden.
I think that's an artificial boost because government
cabinet.
subsidies never brought about like actual growth. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
true.
I'd say one thing I've always been worried about with a Democratic president that reigns really far towards
But-
left is them taking away the guns. I mean, it's unconstitutional if they do.
Okay.
Yeah, so
it's
All
good.
right, here's the thing about windmills, okay? As it turns out, it actually takes more BTUs to create a windmill than it'll ever output in its entire lifetime.
Yeah.
And
It is energy negative.
yeah,
I know what I'm saying.
truly.
And
Is that
by
true?
the way, yeah, it's true. And by the way,
And
a
it's
bunch
shipping.
of the windmills that are subsidized to make here just end up going to Scandinavia anyway.
Yep.
dude, this is
the government pays money
Now,
for
like I was saying
Scandinavia
about
to get them in.
Joe
I
Biden
just
and
think
stuff,
that's bullcrap.
Was actually he
Like Sweden
said
and
during
Norway.
one of his speeches
Yeah.
that
is
really
fine.
all you need to
Who's
protect
next?
yourself
Negative anyway.
was a
Yeah.
double barrel
Real
shotgun.
one,
You
yeah.
don't
Is
even
this
have
your
to
talk
aim for it.
about? I don't think our money should go towards that. Oh yeah, and by the way, on the gun issue, what you were saying earlier, like I agree with that. I don't want people taking away guns, but they're not gonna take away guns. They're gonna start restricting.
They're gonna take away the
little
ammo.
things.
No.
They're gonna take
Ammo.
away the ammo.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
gonna take away magazines. They're gonna make it so that you can't get.
Then,
Okay, so
listen,
like,
what they do is
they're gonna take away certain.
they
like,
drip
pounds of,
feed your
triggers
rights
and
away,
stuff.
so you don't realize that they're getting taken
okay,
away.
back to the
They don't take
windmills.
everything away
Yeah.
at once because that's when you riot.
Yeah, and by the way, they use things.
And they're
like school
doing
And like
this
I
right
tried
now.
to say,
Okay,
They
Joe
let
Biden
people be
was
scared
saying that
and
really
crap
all
like
you
that.
need to do is protect yourself is a double barrel shotgun. And you said you don't even have to aim. They tested it, and like
just
pellets hit on the outside of the paper.
Yeah.
They barely hit.
okay, I want to say something about the windmill. So this was actually said in one of the Trump and Biden debates. The topic of renewable energy was brought up, and Trump responded by saying they kill birds, right? Well, here's a fun fact. Cats kill about 2.4 billion birds every year.
Yep.
Windmills kill about 100,000 to 500,000.
Let's ban cats.
That number is like exponentially larger.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think the bird argument is a very good argument with
Yeah,
it.
it's not whatsoever.
Yeah,
that's not
even
valid.
useful.
Hey,
I'm
is
not-
electric. Who
I
owns
do.
electric?
Roll the dice.
But
four
like
times.
one of my points is it's like
Roll
I don't know
dice
why
is
that
four
point
times
even
even better.
exists. But like with
gosh.
like I was saying earlier, the wind turbines and stuff like
$12.
that is made to fill that gap because like the
If I had
storage
both
for electricity.
and water,
Imagine
it would
like
be 10
if
times
we
cheaper.
just use stored energy to power
Yeah.
the United States right now, it wouldn't last for long because that's not possible. It's like it just fills that gap.
I think they said I heard
All
something
in?
that said that
Yes.
if you took every battery in California, and you filled them all with power, you know.
Yeah.
And that's even including like industrial batteries, and they've got some stations that are meant to like be able to run stuff. It would only power the state for like a few hours. That's terrible. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
All right, Owen, it's your turn. I'm out of jail. But
Awesome. Oh, doubles.
Renewable energy is kind of a
Go.
scam, in my opinion.
Yeah, in a way.
They're actually a board. You can buy Boardwalk.
I'd like to buy Boardwalk.
If they could find a an environmentally friendly material to make solar panels out of and actually make them somewhat efficient.
But what does
Oh, wait,
environmentally friendly even
Sorry.
mean, though? You know, Like really,
It's not going to leak chemicals into the environment.
Okay, but I mean,
species.
It'll turn the frogs.
in the same
It's not going to
sense.
turn the frogs
The chemicals are turning the frogs.
non
Non-
heterosexual.
Yes.
I mean, in the same sense of like CO2 and crap. Like, what does environmentally friendly even mean?
Well,
Everyone hold their stuff.
carbon dioxide causes
Yeah,
or accelerates the greenhouse effect,
Okay,
causing
and also-
thermal
everyone
energy
hold
to
their
be
stuff.
trapped in
I
the
don't buy
atmosphere.
it.
Who gets to
Everyone,
define that?
guys, pick up your stuff real quick. We're gonna move them.
And also, who even gets to define what environmentally friendly means?
I think environmental scientists should
EPA.
define that.
Yeah, but they're all freaking leftists.
The thing
That's
is,
just
there's,
how it is.
there's so
Yeah,
much we don't know.
everyone's going to have their biases.
No,
That's true. But they're very radical.
there's so much we don't know about that. Like, I mean, obviously the ozone is not in good standing compared to the past days.
Okay, so you know how like the government or the leftists hate using guns, but they're gonna use the government with their guns to impose their laws.
What are we gonna go around using batons, hitting rioters with them? You gotta strike fear into the rioters so they stop. Think about it.
You guys want to talk about like how
The two-party
how
system?
garbage the CCP is?
Oh my god, it's great.
How about the
CCP, like CCCP is my favorite. Though.
No, the CCP, Communist Party of China.
Okay, I just want to
yeah,
say
yeah.
how dumb the two-party system is. Okay, so you had
The
Democrats.
one-party system is even worse, though.
That's true.
In China,
Obviously.
the one-party
Whose turn?
system is even worse.
Right?
I would rather have a two-party system than a one-party system.
Oh yeah.
But like when you hear people like, oh, Republicans just hating Democrats in general, the thing with that is that like as a Republican, you're not gonna agree with Republicans on everything.
The Republicans are really
You're gonna have
diverse
your
in their
own- you're gonna
opinions.
have
So
your
are
own
the
thing.
Democrats.
I don't know why we have to.
That's what
group-
happens when you only have two parties.
Well, what's happening is
Grouping
both
viewpoints
sides
is
are
not
becoming
good.
more and more polarized.
And like
They're going
so,
farther and
Carrot
farther
is here.
to the right and left.
For
every
example,
day.
I don't
Let's
see
say
why
Instead of the
that-
Overton windows going moving,
it is.
okay.
Is that yours?
So
Yes.
instead of the
Rhino
Overton
G4.
window
Give me
shifting
four. Do you have
one way
four?
or the other,
Yeah.
it's expanding
Give me one.
now, and that's even worse than it shifting because when it expands, that causes the two groups of people that are on one side or the other to become more and more against each other.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
It's like
And that's
to
why
add
it's
to that,
bad.
that pits
this
people
is,
against each
This
other.
is what I think. So to add to that, so let's say you're a Republican and you have viewpoints that differ from other Republicans.
All right,
Being a Republican
seven.
for long
Can you-
enough will make you like I don't say like diffuse into the
Go
Republican
150.
thoughts, but like you will become more and more surrounded by the Republican thoughts and become more and more
Radical.
Yeah,
And here's the thing.
and it's just like forced upon you. It's
yeah,
not like an option. Like
Right.
it's-
Not 150.
Yeah, you just start to believe it, and that's just how we
you
work.
agree with Republicans more than Democrats, so you're gonna obviously side with them more, whether
Yeah.
you believe, whether you think that or not. It's
Yeah.
like it's not something you think about.
I
but,
think
like,
I think
lot
a
of people
lot of
would
us
disagree on that, but
I think a lot of us have political opinions that we wouldn't all necessarily agree on,
Yeah.
but we can generally say that we can discuss stuff without getting
is it Carrot's turn?
Yeah.
Okay,
Something that I've thought long and
Carrot
hard
is your
about
turn.
is,
Ben's turn.
obviously I'm conservative, but if
Wait,
I
are
had
you
the
just
chance,
conservative or core conservative?
if I had the chance, I wouldn't make everything purely far right Republican. Like a Republican utopia, I don't think that would work very well. You know, obviously it's got to be in the
Well,
middle.
as it turns
it's
out,
got to have both
Republicans-
We're gonna have
sides,
centrists.
As it
or
turns
else
out-
people hate each other.
As
and
it
that's
turns
just how
out,
it
our
happens.
side actually believes in letting other sides exist.
Yeah,
Their
and-
side doesn't
and
let.
that's true.
Their side,
Right. Well,
their
the
viewpoint
radical
does not
the radical
like
people.
that other sides can exist. They
The
don't like
radical lefts-
controversy. Yeah, it's,
I agree, but I would say that's more confined to the radical leftists.
But
I
then
do think,
But then again, it's
like in a day and age like
Yo,
now, I
if
feel
you
like
talk to like
radicals,
alt-rights though, they think
Radicals
that's
like one of the only-
they're just
No, you didn't.
they're just far and fewer between really.
I feel like radicals like the only
Okay.
way that
Well,
there
I
is
already
in
thought
like
it.
in extreme politics,
I
like
think
when you
that-
get on like the federal level. I feel like extremists is the
people
only
say that
way to
like
go.
Nazism is an example of far
I don't know.
Because there's some people who like
there
Well,
was-
economically, it's
I
left
don't know what
yeah.
it is.
Okay.
It's
Economically, yes.
I
it's
know what you're
left
saying.
wing.
If you want to be successful,
The only difference
What
between
model-
like-
You
fascism
have
and
to have
communism
stand out.
yeah,
that-
yeah, like musicians.
What-
Communi-
you don't get
communism
famous
is
by
more
playing
redistributionist.
multiple genres.
Okay, well,
You
think
get famous
about-
by playing
well,
one genre
that's
really good,
accomplished
and that's how it is in
fascism.
politics.
Like,
Whoever's
really
listening to this
freaking high
podcast will
taxes.
enjoy to be
Yeah.
engulfed in
The
one
only
conversation
difference
or the other.
that
Yeah.
I've heard people say between communism and fascism is that in fascism you really like your country. I don't see it in the
It's
USSR.
more,
they really like
it's-
their country.
it's more,
no, if you're overly
well,
patriotic, you'd have like really bad
Okay, well,
jingoism and stuff.
Also, and in fascism, you have a more rigid social structure. You have a more rigid social hierarchy, and that's where they get the right wing idea from.
Yeah, I'm not convinced that they're any different.
No.
Hey, Adam.
Okay, I'm gonna set
Adam.
In practice, not a lot, but in theory, they are.
here. I'm gonna set a little rule.
In
Real
theory,
fast.
the social hierarchy is supposed to be more rigid in fascism.
How about we only
Well,
have
none.
one
The
conversation?
Nazis were socialists.
Yes.
I'll
Yeah.
trade you for Tennessee.
In some people will argue that the name was like a ruse, and they just did that to get people to
Well,
join.
I'm
but-
not even just talking about the name. I'm also talking about
Make him
how their
add,
economy was.
make him add
Yeah,
water.
yeah.
was-
Actually,
I
Make
mean,
them
they
add
had
water.
I will say trade both of
definitionally-
these.
they had government subsidized health care. They had a
You
car
have
for
both of
everybody.
those.
They had
Uh,
a lot of
Eric,
social
make
programs.
him add
They had,
little money to it too,
um,
because you're getting screwed on that one.
Okay.
still, I
Actually-
mean, by some definitions, though, you wouldn't necessarily call them socialist because the workers didn't control the means of production, and the property wasn't owned
No.
communally.
I'll add $200.
And
Oh.
no.
So
400?
it
No.
depends.
Nothing.
If you just mean that they had redistribution systems in place and a lot of social, programs and such, then you could say that it's a socialist ideology.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think we should also add more incentives to work instead of sitting on your butt and do nothing and collect from welfare.
Well, yeah, as of now, you can basically just live off of welfare if you don't have any self-respect.
Okay, so
You basically can't.
this was a case. I worked with someone over the summer who literally only worked 1 or 2 days a week. This is
They live just enough to make the.
This is a woman in her
get
40s
enough
who's
hours.
completely capable of working. They only work 1 or 2 days a week, so they could claim it unemployment.
Yep.
Even though they're capable to go out and get another job. And this is someone who does drugs. I mean, regularly. It's not. It wasn't.
And spends
It wasn't
large amount
hidden.
of money.
So.
Yeah,
lots
yeah.
of money.
They obviously spend a lot of money to do stuff that's. I don't even want to say a leisure activity. Because to be honest, it's
Dude,
more
that makes me
extreme than
mad
that.
that,
But
that our
we need to
tax
get on
dollars
that.
are
We need to get on
going
that.
towards someone to live that kind of lifestyle.
yeah,
What do
it's
you-
kind of
okay.
it's kind of
I
messed up. I feel like
we need to-
there
I think that's
there needs to
something
be
we
more
need to talk
checks
about.
on the welfare system, but there
this is
also
definitely
needs
something
it
I
needs
think
to
I'll
be
disagree with you guys on.
different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, how do you guys feel about the legalization of drugs?
Now, in my opinion, I don't really like it because you're just putting more drugs
goodbye.
that'll
You're putting more
change
drugs
people.
in circulation,
You're
so
right
like
here.
there's gonna
Were you right
be
here?
more
Yeah, that's not.
causes of death.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's gonna be
that's
a
right.
lot more. death.
I would make it illegal to sell the drugs, but I would not make it an offense to use
Are
the
we
drugs
talking-
and to have them, as long as you aren't a seller.
Are we talking about like wasn't it Oregon who made
why should
like
you?
They made cocaine.
hallucinogens legal
You
and
can't
stuff like
really
that?
like if
Stuff like
One of
that.
those,
yeah.
yeah.
you're kind of a slave to your addiction at a certain point.
Okay,
You see what I'm saying?
in some cases,
And so I don't think that should be a criminal offense to do meth if you're not a seller.
in some cases,
For instance, like I think
if
it should be
you-
more of a mental health issue. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
if you do something on your own
Who owns
property,
that?
like in your own
14.
space, like let's say I do drugs here at my house. How can
Wait,
I
so
be
you got 'em?
persecuted? How in the world can you be persecuted for something like that?
Yeah, I know. I've made this argument time and time again. That
Yeah, I mean, when you take it out into the real world, that's when it matters.
Yeah,
Like, you can
once
smoke
you
weed
leave-
all you
and this is the
want.
libertarian
I'm
argument.
just using
right?
this.
Yeah.
That
You can
As long as it doesn't affect other people.
As
Yeah, yeah,
long
of course.
as it stays on their property, they should be fine.
like
I don't think
let's
it
say
should
this.
be a criminal
You
offense.
can
But once they cross
You
their
can do,
property line
here.
and go somewhere else,
Yeah, so for example, you can do cocaine all you want, but if you come to work high as a skunk, that was
well,
bad.
it's
Now-
technically
good enough.
it's illegal to own
terrible.
cocaine.
That's
technically.
it's
It's illegal to own it, but I don't think it should be illegal.
the thing
to own
is,
it.
but then again,
'Cause it's just a plant, right?
it-
it's
it-
like
no.
it's-
it comes into play like where did they get that? That process. Would
In
be
my
illegal.
opinion, I feel like all
natural drugs should be legal, but like synthetic, like methamphetamines, they
Well,
should
I
be
would
illegal.
make their distribution illegal, but I wouldn't make it
No,
illegal
I would
to
make
own
that
it.
illegal.
No,
But,
but someone, you're at a certain point, you're a victim to your addiction. It's something that you can't really.
It's
help
a
at
it's a
certain
mistake
point.
that someone
Something
can't make.
like that is extremely addictive to the point where you can be addicted to it after 1 or 2 uses, and it's you shouldn't
fact
be,
check.
And when it comes
Yeah,
to you
I was
said
just
this in
making
class
sure.
the other
Heroin
day.
is-
When it
heroin
okay,
and methamphetamine.
Then that's a
are
reason
so
why to just
we're talking what should be
ban it.
illegal and illegal, legal and illegal. What so like the criminal offense, like putting people in prison for drugs. I don't think putting in prison for drugs is a good thing because like why are they in prison? It's just keeping them from doing drugs, right? There's many more ways just to do that, but like they don't pose a threat to society as much as say someone who murdered people or
Right.
did something
There
terrible.
are people that got like life sentences for having weed in their car. It's like what? the
Yeah,
fuck?
there's a bunch of weird stuff that can
Oh my
happen.
God.
But
I don't know
so,
the stats on that.
And
but,
I don't
like,
there
even
was-
think I don't even think selling weed should be illegal. It should be completely legalized.
Now-
I don't- it's not harmful enough that it makes sense for the government to regulate
Yeah.
it. The government
Yeah.
shouldn't have that power, in my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
It's not anything that's harmful enough that, like,
I mean-
I wouldn't recommend it.
How is
but
alcohol worse in the eyes of the government? than-
Yeah, yeah.
That's
they did a prohibition of alcohol one time. They put it in the Constitution.
Yeah.
So from what I'm getting from this is like we are
Like,
for like
it's-
letting people do what they want. So when it comes down to like education as a child,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff I feel like should be forced.
Yeah, because when you're a child, you don't make the best decisions, right? You have
Yeah,
to have
as a child,
you
I
have
mean
to have an authoritative figure to make certain decisions for you.
that I believe that, but
I get it.
yeah, I do.
I also
believe
think that school should be compulsory all the way up until you're 18. And then once you're 18, you should be able to drop out.
that. I do think people at the age
you
of 16 can
Yes.
actually.
They
I feel
can
like
at 16, but
Yeah.
I think it should be up to 18.
18.
for a
Yeah,
lot
because
of
once
people,
you're 18, you're a legal adult.
Yeah, I guess you are. I
you're good.
Good?
But like I do feel like yeah, you need to be told what to do until you're a certain age.
Well, in some
Yeah.
instances, but you need to. I think as you get older, the autonomy needs to start to go up so that you can be ready to be an adult when you become an adult.
And I
So you're
as
ready to have all that autonomy.
as bad as this sounds, but like age is kind of a hard measure for some of this stuff because like
I agree.
I'm 17 right now. I'll be 18 in January before Biden gets sworn in. So I will be 18 an adult for the entire Biden presidency, but I had no say in it. That kind of stuff. And there's like probably thousands of people just like me across the country. Like you guys will be 18 during his presidency. I mean, not as long obviously, but the fact is like
Well,
none of us got to vote. necessarily.
I doubt that. Kamala will probably.
no,
be
we'll
president.
be every one of us will be about 20 during
doubt
when
that.
the new election
Oh.
happens.
I mean, obviously, most
Might be.
most people my age aren't like eligible to vote, but like I know enough about this stuff, and a lot of other people know enough about this
I
stuff. That like
personally,
age is a bad thing to gauge a lot
Like,
of stuff.
some
By. Like the
people-
drinking age. Like some people are mature enough to drink at the age
and
of 18,
there's adults
20,
that
19, you know
don't
what I mean?
know enough about politics that they should really be able to vote. Like, someone can make that argument. I mean, people have
Yeah.
made that before, and there's countries where you can vote at 16 if you have the
Yeah, and when it comes to the driving age, in some states here, you can get your white slip or the permit to drive with like a parent at the age of 14. In
Yeah.
some states, in some states, it's like the age of 16, and in most countries, it's like the age of 17 or 18.
Yeah, it's 18 to drive.
in New
Like-
Jersey, it's 17 to have a license.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like for example here, a lot of us think we depend on cars to get us from place to place because we're living in a
It
small
makes
town,
sense
rural
around here
area.
because we're in a rural area.
But think of this: you survived 16 years of your life not using a
Without-
car.
well,
you
but
can
we
go
have
two-
people that
you can
dress-
go
You
two more
also
years.
didn't have as many responsibilities when through those.
Yeah,
years.
Yeah, and you
That's
don't have
true.
as many. You're not hanging out with your friends as much either
Yeah.
necessarily.
That's
You
true.
have people to drive you around. It's
Right.
But like in
And you have people more willing.
like
Yeah.
almost any other country in the world, it's you get your license at you're 18. But I'm just posing an issue. I'm not posing
Yeah,
a
it's-
solution because when you turn like in Europe, most of the time when you turn 18, you get your license, and that's when you're
well, it
going out
depends
to
on
the
the
real world.
country, but yeah.
This is an issue with it. So like what they do in Europe. So when you turn 18, you go off to college, you get into the real world. You have to use a car more. So in
Goes
Europe,
right
for
by.
example, you get your license when you're 18. The same age you go out into the real world. So you're by yourself when you first start driving. I think that's an issue compared to like here,
Man.
we get our license and we're with our parents for 2 years with our license. So we get that training. So when we turn 18, we're more experienced than say someone in Europe who just goes straight out to the real world. It's kind of like
Yeah.
like in some countries, the driving age is the same as the drinking age, and that kind of poses a threat as well because
You're gonna start drinking.
yeah, you're gonna start drinking as well as drive at the same time, and
That's
that's often a large cause of death. is
Yeah.
drunk
You guys
driving
think they
and
should
stuff like
lower the legal age for alcohol down to 18?
No.
No.
I feel like it should just be stay at 21. It's probably.
that.
I
I do agree. It is one of those things that.
But I do feel like
It's-
they should, because they moved the use of like tobacco and nicotine products up to 21 instead of 18 it was.
I would move it
yeah,
up. I would.
that's just in our state though.
Yeah, that's just in
Personally,
Illinois, which is dumb.
I
as
would.
heck.
I would move it down to 18 because as an adult, you should. I mean, you could be in the military and you're
Say-
not even.
Yeah, you could be.
Yeah.
So you could be in the military.
I think
18, 19.
When you're
can't be.
18,
That's
you
a
should be able to
choice.
make
And
those
you
decisions for your
can't-
own life.
You can't
like-
smoke. Take.
I don't think
break
that's
and
the
stress
government's
reliever.
choice.
You guys are kind of yeah.
Like, I
so
don't like.
Yeah,
I see
it's
what you
just-
mean. Like we were talking about earlier, drugs. Like I don't see why a lot of drugs are illegal because
Something I
it's
can't handle that.
a personal mistake. It's a personal issue.
Oh wait, do I have
I
to?
don't see how it should be brought up in like a state situation like with the government and stuff.
Yeah, it's.
Hey, can you move me to
Yeah.
chance?
Obviously, the
What?
government
Move me to chance.
needs to be defined more. Like
yeah.
a lot of the stuff is just
Yeah,
vague.
a lot of people would
Uh,
argue that it should stay at 21 simply
Yeah.
because of your brain developing.
Yeah,
that's-
but,
that's
but
stuff
if
like
you're
that.
Can
if
you
we
give me 150?
define adulthood at 18, then you should be able to do all that.
150
at
or
18.
one?
150.
That's probably true.
Just that? Or?
150.
It's like going into warfare, and your brain's developing. I mean,
Like
Yeah.
I can go to war
Oh.
at 18. I can go fight for this country at 18, but I can't have all the rights of an adult until.
Yeah, I
21.
can't.
That's not right.
I'd say you could go to war. 18,
I don't think that's okay.
You could be super stressed, and you're not allowed to have nicotine, which is a stress reliever that can help you.
but think
You're
about
not
this.
stressed.
At
A lot of
But you-
soldiers use marijuana when they come back.
They do.
I feel like
But-
this is largely true. So
All
you
right,
guys kind of
uh,
talked about this in
10.
another podcast, but like teens are the most depressed age
10.
group, or one of the most depressed age groups.
For me.
I assume. I mean, I'm just guessing. I
Yeah,
don't
that's
really
me.
know the statistics on this,
Are
but
you
Seems
depressed?
like a
You
lot
need
of
to
us
talk?
are.
but like no, I don't need to talk. I'm just saying like teens are one of the most.
I get 200.
I mean, obviously, teens are more suppressed than adults.
25 to Eric.
Suppressed or
25 to
Like
Eric.
just suppressed. Like
25.
Our
they
opinions.
can't do as much as
Eric.
adults can. Like
Oppressed.
yeah,
Eric.
oppressed.
What?
To Eric.
Okay, Eric.
So like teens being depressed, like they're forced to go to high school, they're
And
forced to do
honestly,
stuff. That there needs to be a solution
let
to
him
that. You know what I mean? Like
To
you can't just let
Depression.
yeah because that's what is suicide like the second most
Yeah.
cause of
Yeah.
death in teenagers after car accidents,
Yeah.
something like that.
Dude,
It
honestly,
is pretty high.
I don't feel like it's always been this bad with teenagers.
Honestly,
yeah,
I feel like.
technology makes a huge
Yeah,
issue with that.
technology
Oh, yeah,
really
it
does.
does.
And dude,
'Cause,
like if you take your phone out of your life for 2 weeks,
What
you
hobbies
will
do you have?
instantly see the effects
Yeah,
of your phone. on
Think
your
about
brain.
this. What hobbies do teenage girls have? TikTok.
TikTok.
it's
Alright.
just
Anything
TikTok.
else?
It's it.
Your phone.
T.
Phone. That's the hobbies of teenage girls. Like, am I right?
And if they're in
Just
like
typical.
sports and
That's
maybe
They talk to their.
Well,
Yeah,
it's-
that's like all it
it's-
is.
They talk on their
When you
phone.
take
and
away
they
guys
follow.
who are like
Well,
that
now
also.
hold on. We can't be very.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, in
But,
general.
so, what are the hobbies of a teenage boy?
But, like,
we
versus
play, like
teenage
we at least play like video games.
Yeah, video games.
Well,
a
do
lot
other
of
stuff.
Well,
video
girls do
games,
too, like-
yeah. video games.
girl that's
is
not going to be
just as-
mentioned.
Video games is just
She
as bad
plays
as
with
TikTok.
me.
yeah. I'm just
and
saying, like
Ryan.
teenagers.
Oh, yeah.
Teenagers in general,
Yeah.
like their
Yeah.
hobbies right now, like
Who to? Oh, like
Yeah,
think of constructive stuff that teenagers do. Like
Yeah.
video games isn't necessarily constructive.
Right.
It can.
Owen's
Yeah,
favorite
it's,
girl.
It's highly
Social
dependent
media is
wrong?
not for constructive.
she's got a boyfriend.
I know. I don't mean favorite as in like that.
Okay, I don't want to say girls in general, but like just like I'm
Just
just using like think of a teenage girl at our school. What's their
Well,
hobbies?
I think
Phone,
I think
phone,
it's I,
phone,
I
phone,
honestly just
phone,
think it's
phone.
teenagers
Chinese spyware.
in general.
Yeah, teenagers in general.
that's what I call TikTok.
Yeah,
Since we're
We
guys, I'm
should've
not going to
just
use
said,
the guys
yeah.
as an example because we're all here. I'm just using girls.
Yeah, if there was a
But-
girl here,
If there was a
they
girl, we
would
probably would've
argue
used, like-
otherwise.
yeah.
And they might be right.
But like,
yes.
there's some people who are into art, stuff like that. Those people that are passionate about a certain subject. But a lot of our population, our school specifically, and I
Lacks
guarantee you,
passion.
most schools,
That's
is
the issue at
their
hand.
phone.
It's people lacking passion
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they're constantly stimulated. They
By
don't
their
need
phone.
to look out.
Like,
they don't need
literally.
to. They don't need to develop opinions about the world around them.
Yeah, like
that's the issue at hand. I think.
like my issue.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of YouTube, but
So
YouTube
people-
can be constructive and deconstructive at the same
People
time.
are
Like, you can get
becoming,
caught up in just
in a way,
watching
they're-
memes all day. That's not
Yeah.
necessarily
People
Like,
are getting more
I-
assimilated into one group, and they're becoming
Yeah.
zombies.
Like I
Yeah.
watch a lot of
They're
like
specializing.
You can't
like
really.
Willy
They're
Wonka
becoming
and
less
stuff like that.
individualistic.
You can't
Yes.
you can't really eliminate technology because it is used for useful stuff like research and stuff like in
Yeah.
school. Technology is so important now. I mean, textbooks can be important as well.
Yeah, but they're
Yeah,
so
we're using
outdated,
computers and stuff.
The information becomes old.
we can't go back now. We can't go back. But like I don't know what you can do to regulate it necessarily. It's just like
It's a personal choice.
Oh,
Yeah, it's personal
and
choice.
This
It's-
is another thing.
It's just like with
They
anything
need
that's addictive.
they need to put
it's
some
personal
laws in place so
choice.
that like when AI is starting to become really
sentient.
like because that's gonna happen really soon.
Dude,
you think they need to put laws in for that, but
Yeah.
then like you don't think we need to put laws in for drugs.
Yeah,
Yeah, because that's more of a personal choice. But AI could actually
Like
be our
track you.
downfall.
Is that what you're
really.
talking about?
It
So
actually
so
could.
you're thinking of like a Terminator, a Judgment Day style kind of thing.
Not
No.
necessarily like that. It'd be more.
You're thinking of God's Eye, right? Like stuff like that.
It'd be more that it would become so more intelligent than us that humans would eventually become obsolete, and it would no longer see a reason to keep us around.
that's true.
Well, if you-
Elon
I don't see
Musk,
that
have you
as
guys
a-
watched
He
Elon
even
Musk
said that
and Joe
himself, yeah.
Rogan's
No, I
podcast?
haven't.
yeah, I watched that whole
Joe
thing.
Rogan
gonna get
interviewed
copyrighted
him,
again.
and yeah,
Yeah.
Elon Musk talked about how like it is the future. People are going to be able to upload their consciousness
Yeah.
onto the internet.
He thinks,
Neuralink.
and he
Neuralink.
said that
We're
within
talking about
15
Neuralink
minutes
here. That's
or
a-
15 years, we'll be able to use Neuralink to telepathically communicate.
Yep.
Yeah, but you
And,
can.
that is
and added on that,
outrageous.
because of that, think about this. You have
Eric, it's your
all
turn,
the
isn't it?
information
Oh, wait, no,
on the
it's-
internet
it's
in
Ben's
your
turn.
freaking
Ben's
head.
turn.
This is
How
gonna become like
quickly
a
will humanity
Harrison
develop?
Harrison
Like,
Bergeron
it
type
will
of
develop
situation. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, but
have
think
you, have you read
explode.
1984?
No, I am not.
You need to read 1984.
That's another thing.
by George Orwell. Read that.
No.
Do you know what it's about?
So think about it. It's
dystopian
a, if you
society.
had, let's say,
Obviously.
Yeah, you need to.
I'm just-
it's a really
Oh,
good
wait,
book.
can I-
I'm just throwing this out there.
Have
It's
you
a,
read
if you
it?
had
Yeah,
that
it's
neural
Fahrenheit
link,
Fahrenheit 451 is another
and
one.
somebody,
Yeah, it's kind of similar.
It's the same kind of dystopian idea.
Yeah.
and say if somebody like, let's just say hacked into that neural link and put a virus,
1984,
what
it just
exactly would
makes you kind of
happen?
feel hopeless. 'Cause
What would
there's
happen?
no way they can get out of that society.
Would your mind completely
The only
corrupted
way-
and destroyed,
Because the
or
pearls, they don't
would it
realize
just
that
kind of
the-
not work? Since
the
the brain
paralysis
is
Have any-
will never rise
have you-
up.
any of you guys seen
biologic, or
Upload?
what?
What's
What
that?
exactly would happen?
It's a series on where like everyone
Hey, I'm
before
willing to
they
make that trade
die,
with you again.
they can like upload their
Yeah,
whole
that's the eventual
brain,
idea.
No.
Yeah.
and like they're just like, I don't know, you have to like pay for stuff and stuff.
Yeah.
But like
Oh. Yeah.
someone
I'm willing to
alive
trade
has to
both
pay,
your railroads
and then
for
once
this.
you can, you're just like
That no.
I want your real.
in just
no.
a
If you get this, you can build hotels on Boardwalk. and
utopia
Parkway.
in the internet.
That will put you.
No, I want to try to
Greatly
get. I want
ahead
to try
of
to get
me.
all the railroads.
That would be like
Okay, I'll trade you
only
the
way to
railroad
have a
for
utopia.
Parkway, or
when you
your
think about
Boardwalk.
it, you could do like a digital utopia.
Sick.
I want to like trains.
I'm cool with that. Okay, Eric, it is your turn.
It's
No,
my
it's
turn.
But
Your
what?
turn.
But
That is Owen's turn. Yeah,
Can
actually.
no
I
one
try to
can
get your turn,
grasp
Eric?
the
No.
idea of a
Hold on,
utopia.
I'm actually going to buy
'Cause
2 houses.
You
Isaac,
have to
I'd like to buy
have
2
every
houses.
single thing correct
How much are they?
in order
Uh,
for it to be
200
utopia.
apiece.
But then when you
wouldn't
take
know
struggle out
every
of human
single
life,
thing
then that
to
makes
what
life feel
you
meaningless
need to be
too.
correct on.
Yeah.
You have to have something to overcome.
Actually, wait, Isaac.
Yeah.
3.
in life for you to have meaning.
Yeah.
It's
Oh yeah. Something else I wanted to talk about. So a lot of these issues that we've been talking about are on like they're all addictions.
I like to buy 2 more.
Drugs,
That's 200.
alcohol,
Yeah.
your phone. All these things are addictions. So how do you guys think that you can deal with
And
addictions?
then another one.
Well, you go
Like
to
it's hard.
therapy. You can go to
Yeah.
therapy.
4
That's
houses
the
in
thing.
total.
That's the thing. Everyone just says just stop. Well, people get
It's hard to
addicted.
stop when you're
Hardcore.
addicted.
anyone can get addicted
to the point where it
anything.
becomes like nearly impossible.
I think
People are
it
addicted
comes
to
down to a
pornography
parent.
so
it,
bad.
It becomes down to a parenting thing.
Yeah.
Honest to God, like
Like I'd say when it comes
the
to
government
like,
can't regulate stuff like that. Like
yeah.
drugs and alcohol, if you just keep on doing it, you're just digging yourself a hole. It's just inescapable.
Yeah,
and
but
you're
like,
just gonna waste your life basically just
Yeah,
doing
but
drugs, spending
what I'm
so much
saying
money
is,
on
is
it.
as a government agency, what happens when everyone in your country
did you
is
go?
addicted to something? You know, how do you
Oh,
deal
did
with
you go
that?
already?
And it's
Yeah.
crippling. to
Actually, we
people.
already really are.
Yeah,
We're all
everyone.
we're all
everyone's
addicted to our phones.
something.
We're half of us are addicted to caffeine.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
We're all addicted to
yeah,
sugar.
You can be addicted to thinking. You know, you can be addicted to
Where's your compact go?
things like that. You know, and
Like,
if you try to go without it,
I mean,
where'd your
people are
compact
addicted to
go?
pornography
Yeah.
too.
yeah,
That's
I
what
said that
I-
earlier.
Bet-
I think most people today are. Most
600
people are.
600
Where's your
for
compact go?
600. Holy crap.
I might
have
have
to
fell
pass
on
it
the
up
floor or
to you.
something.
Come on, there's
Brian,
like,
I'm
there's
sorry,
board
dude, but
ball.
I'm not gonna do that for you.
No.
Care to keep
It would
my
just
hand
screw
on my-
myself.
He doesn't
I would
like
just
being
screw
fishy.
myself.